welcome back to Corona Kenpo. Today's lesson is going to continue our thoughts on blocking, but we're going to move from our legs to our arms. So we'll think about how to do the same thing we did with our legs, connecting to our center, moving as a unit, but now we'll practice it with our arms. In our last lesson we talked about connecting our leg to our center by drawing everything in and keeping it tight and connected as we move back. We're going to do the same thing with our arms. We're going to bring them in and connected to our center. Think about using our arms in any context. We're going to start in our horse stance and practice punching. We're going to imagine that there's like a pipeline that runs out of our core and moves forward. Everything that we do moves through that pipeline. Whether it's a hand extending out or coming back, it's going to draw through our center. For example, if we start with a hand out and we're going to throw a center punch with our right hand, our left hand is going to draw through that conduit, as opposed to around or even slightly flaring out. And of course our striking hand, instead of moving around or even just straight out, is also going to move through that conduit in the middle. Cats everywhere. What this does is it keeps everything channeled through our center and connected to our core as it moves. If we let anything else flare out, because our bodies have this bilateral symmetry, as I move my shoulder around, it's going to draw my other shoulder around. So even if my punching hand moves straight, if my withdrawing hand moves in a circle, I'm losing some of that energy, obviously over-exaggerating here, as opposed to straight through. When we block then, we're going to practice the same thing. Obviously an inward block isn't moving straight forward, but it still is going to come through that center conduit, as opposed to around. It shoots straight. One way to practice this is with weights, because weights force our body to work as efficiently as possible. You want to pick a weight that's light enough that you can sort of move it around, but heavy enough that you have to move it around efficiently. If I just wanted to move this weight across my body, I would not extend it out as far as I can and sweep it. That's hard. Instead, I think about the muscles that are the strongest, my chest muscles, my back muscles. Those are the muscles I want to block with. As I'm holding this, I want to connect it to my center. If I bring it around, I can feel this muscle deactivate. It's all here right now. If I keep it here, I feel that this is engaged the whole time.
Bend and snap.
So beginning from here, as we move back, I have to keep everything engaged, otherwise I lose control of my block. Here's another place to think about this. Here, connected. Here, oh goodness, not connected. You can see that this is engaged, and as soon as it drifts out behind me, it starts to disengage. So when I block, I end here as opposed to out here. So what are these? The timing on my block then is that this hand retracts to the center, as this hand extends through the center, as this foot draws back, and there's going to be a moment where everything kind of meets in the middle. Any block needs to cover my center line, that is, that line that runs vertically down our body where all of the squishy bits are. To protect that then, the block, even as it's engaging with my center, I suppose, could loop up. That isn't block anything though. So I'm going to think about the block coming from my elbow, not from my fist. My elbow engages with my center and clears my center line as I block.